Okay, so good day everyone. In today's episode of our discussion series, we will cover the final topic of the third quarter, which is Hinduism. I hope you will watch this video as part of your review for the upcoming exam. So without further ado, let's begin. Okay, so for the learning objectives, identify the brief history, core beliefs, practices, and related issues of Hinduism. Of course, we'll try to discuss the background, how Hinduism started, okay, where it is founded, or how it is founded. So next, illustrate a particular form of a yoga. I'm thinking, di ba? I'm still thinking if ito yung ipapa-performance ka na lang sa inyo or ipapa-performance task. And then, value Hinduism as a way of life and belief system. Okay. So, in our topic, we will cover the historical background of Hinduism, the founder, if meron, the sacred text, the gods, the doctrines or the central beliefs in Hinduism, the sects or the denominations, and the issues, okay, that they faced from the past or in current era. Okay, so for the origin of Hinduism, okay, Hinduism is one of the oldest religion in the world. Okay, oldest religion. And I just want to add in that statement that Hinduism is a form of polytheistic belief. When we say polytheistic in our discussion, it is a belief in the multiplicity of gods. It means madaming Diyos na mai-encounter or madami tayong gods and goddesses na mai-encounter in Hinduism. Okay. So another or in addition for that, Hinduism is considered old religion compared to Abrahamic religion. Next, also referred as Sanatana Dharma. Okay. In earlier times, okay, the Hinduism is known as the Sanatana Dharma. Okay, so the meaning or the what do you call this? The meaning of the word Sanatana Dharma is known as the eternal traditions or eternal way. Bakit kaya yun yung naging parang pinaka-definition or translation nun? Okay, kasi nga, in ancient time, the word Hinduism is not totally a name. Okay, when we say Hinduism, a word which pertains to the traditions, culture, and religious activities of the people in Indus Valley. Yun yung ibig sabihin ng Hinduism. Hindi lang po patungkol sa religion, patungkol din ito sa way of life, dinidescribe yung cultures and traditions of the people. But, okay, as times goes by, napalitan na po at naging Hinduism or ginamit ng pangalan as religion. Okay, so Hindu or the word Shindo is the local name of the Indus River. Okay, okay, so yung ating Indus Valley, okay, which is yung most part ng Indus Valley ngayon in our current era, mostly siya ay occupied ng Pakistan. But the lowest portion, occupied naman siya ng India. Okay. So, Aryans, so sino naman yung mga Aryans na yan? Name originally given to people who said to speak Indo-European language and were thought to have settled in prehistoric times in Iran and in Indian subcontinent. Actually, ito yung mga Aryans is not a totally or not the original inhabitants in Indus Valley. Hindi naman talaga sila original inhabitants. Kasi 'di ba nung mga unang panahon, ang mga tao talaga is walang no permanent place na magstay sila. Kumbaga tayo dati or yung mga ancestors natin is palipat-lipat ng tirahan during that time. Okay, bakit kaya palipat-lipat? To seek food, shelter, and the basic necessities to survive. Yun yung pinaka number one nilang priorities during that time. Kaya palipat-lipat ng tirahan. And nung sila ay napunta sa Indus Valley, doon na sila nagtayo ng mga what do you call this, communities na itatag ang mga centralized society wherein what do you call this, in Indus Valley, notal na ako, nandun po na ay nagtayo yung tinatawag nating Mohenjo-daro, which is one of the urban city or city-state during that time, which is founded in Indus Valley. Okay. And ano kaya yung pinaka naging proof ng mga historian natin or ng mga, let's say, researcher natin? Bakit kaya na conclude na yung umiral na religion in Indus Valley during that time is Hinduism? Okay, sabi dito, Indus River plays a significant role in the development of Hinduism. The Mohenjo-daro, which is located in the Indus Valley, is believed to be the center of religious activities. Okay, hindi lang pala urban or city-state yung ating Mohenjo-daro. Sentro din siya ng mga religious activities. Okay, balikan ko yung tanong ko kanina, bakit kaya Hinduism yung nasabing religion na nag-i-exist in Mohenjo-daro or in Indus Valley during that time? Ano yung nakita ng mga researchers or historians, okay, yung mga nag-i-investigate? So actually, ang nakita po diyan is yung mga relic. When we say relic, mga remnants, okay, remains of the past civilization. Okay, yun yung nakita. At ang isa sa nagpatibay na um, Hinduism yung religion doon is yung nakita nilang Pashupati code or yung what do you call this, Pashupati symbol or yung pinaka relic or parang kamukha ni Shiva. And alam naman natin si Shiva as one of the major god, 'di ba, in Hinduism. Okay. So yun po yung nagpatibay na Hinduism yung nag-i-exist na religion sa Indus Valley during that time. Okay, so next. Sabi diyan, it was established around 3000 BCE with no single historical founder. Okay, wala pong founder. Wala po talagang um, nakita, excuse me, nakita or na-track kung sino ba yung nagtatag ng Hinduism. Actually kasi ang Hinduism, it's a tradition or culture lang dati. But, syempre, through time, nag-evolve siya, na-develop, naging religion. Kaya wala talagang particular founder sila na nakita. Okay. And ang ating Hinduism is madami daw. Pinaniniwalaang ito ay na itatag ng hindi lang isang tao. Madami. At yung mga tao yung dati ay tinatawag na sage. S-A-G-E. Pag sinabi nating sage, typically it refers to a wise or knowledgeable person, 'di ba? Mga sage, talagang malawak ang kaalaman, often someone who is respected for their wisdom and experience. Okay. And many cultures and religious traditions, pag sinabi nating sage or sages, are seen as individual who have attained deep spiritual insight and understanding through meditation, okay, contemplation, or other practices. And they often sought out for guidance and advice on various matters, including moral, ethical, and spiritual issues. Kumbaga, okay, itong mga sage, pag may mga ano tayo, tanong about moral or ethical or spiritual issues about these matters, sa kanila tayo malalapit kasi or lumalapit kasi sila nga yung may malawak na kaalaman. At yung mga sages or sage na yan, sila daw yung mga nagtatag na or nagtatag ng ating Hinduism. Pero walang particular name. Okay, na nabanggit. Okay. Wala ding central revelation, no creed or unified system of belief, doctrine of salvation. Okay, walang malinaw. Basta ang atin lang sa Hinduism, their main goal is to be free. Okay, from the process of or from the cycle of samsara. Okay, yun lang yung main goal nila para ma-attain ang nirvana. And no centralized authority. Actually sa atin, sa Roman Catholic, 'di ba, if we are going to go back in our discussion in Christianity, sa Roman Catholic, meron silang highest, okay, authority, which is the Pope or Santo Papa. Pero dito wala ano. Ayan. Now let's proceed on the sacred text. Mayroon namang sacred text din ang Hinduism. Actually, there are two. Okay, dalawa yun. The Shruti and the Shriti. So, pag sinabi natin Shruti, it means that it is heard. Okay, napapakinggan, no? Meaning, Okay, napakinggan. The Shruti literature is into two parts, the Vedas and Upanishads. Dalawa palang parts yung ating Shruti. Okay, the Vedas and Upanishads. And when we say Vedas, okay, English translation, knowledge. Okay, but between the two parts of the Shruti, the Vedas and Upanishads, Vedas is the most sacred. And Vedas is considered as the sacred or holy book in Hinduism. Yun po yung ating Vedas. So there are two types or four types of the Vedas. Apat po yung types ng ating Vedas. The Rig Veda, okay, or the royal knowledge, the Sama Veda or the knowledge of chants, okay, the Yajur Veda or the knowledge of sacrificial rituals, the Atharva Veda or the knowledge of incarnation. Okay, pag sinabi nating Rig Veda, okay, yan yung ating tinatawag na, ano kaya yan? Okay, or it serves as a specific purpose such as praising the gods, okay, and goddesses. Okay, yan yung ating sa Rig Veda. Royal knowledge. Meron tayong royal. Sino ba yung tinatawag na mga royal? Royalty. 'Di ba, gods and goddesses? Hindi naman pwedeng mortals. Okay, so dito sa Rig Veda, nakasulat dyan yung mga prayers on how to properly worship the gods and goddesses in Hinduism. Okay, it's about gods, kumbaga, patungkol royal knowledge. Sama Veda, knowledge of chants. Okay, pag sinabi naman nating Sama Veda, okay, it is a prayer, okay, in melody or a prayer in a song form. Kumbaga, prayer siya. Pag sinabi nating chants, 'di ba? Prayer na in a melody or in a melodic way. Kumbaga, yung pag-deliver, may pattern, may rhythm. Okay, pero para saan din yan? Para syempre sa mga gods and goddesses nila. Okay, and then we have the Yajur Veda or the knowledge of sacrificial, okay, rituals. Okay, so dito ang nakalagay dyan is mga instructions. Instruction for rituals. How to do the specific rituals to be offered, okay, to a particular god. Paano ba gawin yon? Okay, nakasulat po diyan sa Yajur Veda. And then sa Atharva Veda naman, okay, knowledge of incarnation. It contains spells, charms, and philosophical insights. Okay, of course, insights in different concept. Like for example, in reincarnation. Okay, how to be free from reincarnation. Okay, nakalagay po din sa ating Atharva Veda. Okay, next we have the Upanishads. The Upanishads is composed of 108 philosophical ideas. Ang dami but syempre hindi lang po single author yung nag-contribute or limbag or kumbaga yung may akda, hindi lang isa. Madami, sina Kena, Katha, Prashna, Mundaka, Mandukya, Taittiriya, okay, Aitareya, Chandogya, and Brihadarankaya. Okay, Brihadaranyaka rather. Okay, yun yung ating mga may gawa ng Upanishads. So, ang dami. And then, pag titingnan natin, ang hirap ng mga spelling. But anyway, no worries, hindi ko naman yan isasali or hindi siya part, yung ating mga main concept lang ang sinama ko sa exam. Okay, we're done in the two parts of the Shruti. Proceed naman tayo sa Shruti. Okay, okay. Pag sinabi natin Shruti, in English, memorize. Kanina yung Shruti, heard. Okay, ito naman ay memorized. Okay, kumbaga, sinasaulo or, ayan. Since ito nga, puro literary text itong nandito sa ating Shruti. Okay. And pag sinabi natin mga literary text, like for example, epics, okay, dapat masaulo natin para maibasa natin from one generation to another. Example of the Shruti is the Ramayana. Okay. The most popular of the Hindu epics. Epic ko, pag sinabi nating epic ko, yan yung mga story ng kabayanihan, di ba? Kabayanihan, pakikipagsapalaran, kamanghamanghang pakikipagsapalaran ng mga tao about sa kanilang nagawang kabayanihan. Depicts a story of a royal couple of Ayodhya, Rama and Sita and other characters. So yung Ramayana pala natin, it explained the love story of Rama and Sita. But syempre, hindi lang yung love story yung na-highlight doon. But of course, okay, kung paano natin malalampasan yung iba't ibang mga pagsubok. At inihanda ko nga yung pinaka-summary, buod ng ating Ramayana. So sabi dito, the Ramayana is an ancient Indian epic that tells the story of Prince Rama, his wife Sita. Okay, so yung kwento ni Rama and Sita. And his loyal brother, Lakshmana. Okay, so Rama is exiled from his kingdom of Ayodhya by his father, King Dasharatha. Okay, pinaalis siya sa kanilang karin. Actually, si Rama pala ay prinsipe. And the behest of his stepmother, Kaikeyi. Accompanied by Sita and Lakshmana, Rama spends 14 years in the forest. Tagal ano? So sinamahan naman pala siya ng kanyang what do you call this, asawa na si Sita sa forest for 14 years. During their exile, Sita is abducted by the demon king Ravana. Okay, nung nandun sila sa forest, na abduct or kinuha si Sita ng isang demonyo na nagngangalang Ravana. Okay, prompting Rama to embark on a quest to rescue her. Of course, si Sita na abduct. Syempre, mahal ni Rama yon. So, gumawa siya ng way para maligtas si Sita. With the help of an army of monkeys led by the monkey god Hanuman, Rama wages war against Ravana. Okay, and after a first battle, Rama defeats Ravana and rescues Sita. However, Sita's purity is questioned by some in Ayodhya and she undergoes a trial by fire to prove her chastity. Okay, pagkabalik nga, nakuha na ni Rama si Sita kay Ravana, question naman ng mga taga-Ayodhya yung pagkababae ni Sita. Kumbaga, nagduda sila, baka hindi na pure si Sita. Kumbaga, baka siya ay nadungisan ni Ravana. Pero yun ay napatunayan na siya ay malinis. Okay, and pure. She emerges in Scotch and Rama is reunited with her. Eventually, Rama ascends to the throne of Ayodhya. Ruling as a just and righteous king, the Ramayana teaches moral values, dharma, and the triumph of good over evil, and it is revered as one of the greatest epics in Hindu mythology. Ayan po. Actually, ang Ramayana, yan po ay naka-attribute kay Valmiki or sage po si Valmiki. Okay, so para siya yung naging pinaka-author ng Ramayana, si Valmiki. Next epic, we have the Mahabharata. Okay, the world's longest epic poem deals with the power struggle between the Pandava and the Kaurava families. Kanina, love story si Ramayana. Dito naman is power struggle. Okay, between two families, the Pandava and Kaurava. Okay, ito po yung summary ng ating Mahabharata. The Mahabharata is an epic narrative of ancient India attributed to the sage Vyasa. Okay, naka-attribute sa kanya yan. Parang siya yung pinaka-author. It revolves around the rivalry between two groups of cousins, the Pandavas and the Kauravas, for the throne of the kingdom of Hastinapura. Okay, the Pandavas is led by Yudhishthira, okay, are righteous and virtuous, while the Kaurava is led by Duryodhana. Okay, correct me if I'm wrong sa mga pangalan. So, are driven by jealousy and greed. Okay, talagang magkaiba yung ugali ng Pandava and Kaurava family. Okay, so sino kaya yung mag-emerge ng victorious sa kanila? Yung Pandava, which is righteous and virtuous, or yung Kauravas, which is driven by jealousy and greed? Okay, the epic encompasses various themes, including Dharma. Pag sinabi nating Dharma in English counter translation, it pertains to a duty or righteousness. Karma, the action or end consequences, the good and bad karma. And the cosmic order. The great battle of the Kurukshetra ensues, okay, between the two factions, with Lord Krishna serving as the charioteer and advisor to the Pandava prince Arjuna. Okay, So si Krishna, kung maalala natin, siya di ba yung avatar or let's say embodiment ni God Vishnu. Okay. Ayan, embodiment ni Vishnu. Na naging advisor daw ni Pandava Prince Arjuna. The war results in immense bloodshed and loss of life, leading to profound moral dilemmas for the characters. Okay, ultimately, the Pandavas emerged victorious but at a great personal cost kasi nga madaming namatay ano. The Mahabharata also includes numerous subplots, philosophical discourses, and teachings on ethics and spirituality, making it one of the longest and most profound epics in world literature. Actually, parang na ano din to na-encounter sa 21st to mga ganyang literature. Ayan, next. The Bhagavad Gita. Okay, the most well-known of the Hindu scriptures called the Song of the Adorable One, which contains the most brilliant theological lessons about the nature of God. Actually, parang ito yung naka-align din sa Mahabharata. Ito yung ating Bhagavad Gita kay Vyasa din naka-attribute. The Bhagavad Gita, often referred to simply as the Gita, is a sacred Hindu scripture that takes the form of a dialogue between Prince Arjuna and Lord Krishna. Okay. Who serves as the charioteer or advisor. Di ba naging advisor nga ni Prince Arjuna ng Pandava family, si Lord Krishna. Set on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, just before the Great War of the Mahabharata, Arjuna is filled with doubt and moral dilemmas about fighting against his own relatives and teachers. Before nagkaroon ng wars between Pandava and the Kaurava family, syempre, si Prince Arjuna is nagkaroon ng mga dilemma or worry or doubts if baka tama ba na sila ay mag-away or kalabanin niya yung kanyang sariling dugo, 'di ba? Relatives. Okay, but si Lord Krishna nga as advisor, pinayuhan niya, binigyan niya ng good advices si Prince Arjuna. In response, Krishna imparts timeless wisdom, discussing profound philosophical concepts such as dharma, the duty or righteousness, karma, action and consequences, yoga, the path to the spiritual realization. Krishna encourages Arjuna to fulfill his duty as a warrior while maintaining detachment and devotion to God. Okay, yun po yung ating Bhagavad Gita. Kaya nga sinabi kong yan ay nakapatungkol din sa Mahabharata. Ayan. The Bhagavad Gita addresses the complexities of human existence and provides guidance on how to live a life of righteousness, devotion, and self-realization. Okay, ang Bhagavad Gita tinuturuan tayo kung paano maging responsable, okay, maging matuwid, okay, mamuhay ng matuwid, and ipinapakita din dito kung paano dapat nating i-devote ang sarili sa Diyos. Okay. Aside from that, self-realization. Okay. If you are confused, you have to meditate. If you are in a dilemma, you have to clear your minds through a yoga or meditation. It is revered as one of the most important spiritual texts in Hinduism and has profound significance for seekers of truth and spiritual wisdom worldwide. Okay, pinaka-guide nila ang Bhagavad Gita. But again, what is the sacred text in Hinduism? Okay, anyone? Very good. Okay, the sacred text is the Vedas. Okay. So, the concept of Dharma. Nabanggit ko na nga ang Dharma pag sinabi natin kayong Dharma, okay, anong sabi diyan? Balikan natin. Okay, duty or righteousness. Okay. The purpose of Dharma is to uplift us from earthly or selfish concerns and to tie us to the universal order of things. It refers to righteous way of living, an idea of every human duties and responsibilities. Okay. Tamang pamumuhay. Ano ba yung mga tama? So, alam kong ikaw at ako alam yung tama. Kaya nating i-decipher yung tama sa mali. And ito yung konsepto ng Dharma. Nakalagay din sa Dharma yung tinatawag na non-violence. Kasi sa Hinduism, marami silang malaki yung pagpapahalaga rather nila sa mga may buhay. Kahit pa yan ay mga hayop na maliit, okay, malaki yung pagpapahalaga nila. Kasi explain natin later sa concept ng reincarnation. Ayan. So, another concept is the concept of samsara. It is the cycle of birth, death, and rebirth. Paulit-ulit. Okay, na nangyayari. Ano? So, wala akong parang drawing dito na example. Imagine na lang natin. So, in samsara, the cycle of birth, death, and rebirth, okay, paulit-ulit yan. Na never-ending suffering. Papanganak, mamamatay, papanganak, mamamatay, papanganak, mamamatay. Okay, paulit-ulit. But the question is there a way to escape the loop of reincarnation or yung cycle na yon? Meron kayang way? Of course, meron. Okay, tinuturuan tayo din kung paano natin ma-reach, paano tayo ma-end yung suffering. Kasi, if you are living, nandun yung suffering. Sa buhay, kaakibat natin ang paghihirap. At paano tayo makakatakas doon? Okay, sabi dito sa Hinduism, okay, you can escape the loop or the cycle of samsara if you can feel the word contentment, you are living in a righteous way, okay, ayan pa, you are satisfied, ine-exclude mo yung yung sarili mo sa mga earthly desires, sa mga material things na mga ganyan. Diba? Kasi nga, material things, money is the root of evil. So, i-detach or alisin natin yung mga yan sa atin. Okay. So, pag ganon, namuhay ka ng tama, makakalaya ka diyan sa, or makakaalis ka diyan sa cycle ng samsara. At pag nangyari yon, maa-attain mo na yung state of nirvana. Okay, attainment of highest state that a Hindu can reach. This freeing is called moksha. Okay, ito na yung pinaka-highest peak na pwede mong maabot pag ikaw ay nakalaya sa samsara. At yung pagpapalaya doon sa kaluluwa mo, doon sa cycle na yon, sa samsara, is known as moksha. Okay, freeing of soul. Soul, rather. At the word soul, di ba, nabanggit ko kanina, the word soul is equivalent to the word atman. Okay, balikan na lang natin or na-discuss natin kanina. Ano? Ayan. Next, yung konsepto ng reincarnation kasi, tapos na naman natin, no, nasagot ko na kung paano makakalaya. Sa reincarnation, sabi sa Hinduism, okay, possible, tinanong ko din, nag-research ako, possible tayo ma-reincarnate as an animal. Okay, a dog, a pig, or kung ano man. Depende yon sa kung ano yung ginawa mo nung previous life mo. Okay, pwede rin ikaw na ma-reincarnate as a wealthy man. Okay, a poor one. Depende yon sa kung ano yung ginawa mo. And medyo sa reincarnation nakakakaroon tayo ng discrimination. Kasi sa kanila, once na ikaw ay ma-reincarnate as mahirap, pulubi, it means sa kanila na ikaw ay masama sa previous life mo. Which is nagiging root ng discrimination. Later, madidiscuss din natin yung system of classification nila sa society nila. Ayan. So, discuss naman natin yung mga sekta under Hinduism. We have the Brahmanism, earliest Indian religious tradition that emerged from the ancient Vedic religion. Of course, sino yung pinaka-main god yan? Si Brahma. Okay, Brahma. Okay. And we have the Shaivism. Shiva is the supreme god. Si Shiva naman dito. Ano? Vaishnavism, largest devotional sect that focuses on the worship of Vishnu. Kay Vishnu naman siya nakafocus. Shaktism, Shakti is the divine power that create and sustain the world, and those who practice Shaktism focuses on the goddess Devi, okay, who embodies Shakti. Pag sinabi kasi nating Devi, goddess, it pertains to a female god. Goddess, okay, goddess, female. Pag sinabi naman nating Deva, D-E-V-A, sa lalaki naman. Like sina Brahma, Vishnu. Okay, lalaki. Next. Ayan. So, issues naman. Actually, na-discuss ko na naman tong sati, di ba? Sabi niya, a societal practice of self-immolation, which is now rare and prohibited in India. Na pag namatay yung asawang lalaki, pag nabuhay pa yung babae, isasama siyang susunugin. Sati. Caste system, ancient classification of people in terms of occupation. Okay, and then we have the child marriage. Okay, which is ano naman pag child marriage. Dito sa ating case system, balikan natin. Hindi ko na-explain yung child marriage kasi napaka self-explanatory naman Sa case system po natin, ito yung ating system of classification. Yung pinakamataas is the Brahmins are considered the priestly class responsible for religious rituals, teaching, and scholarship. Ito yung mga priests, teachers, okay, and mga scholars. Okay, nandyan sa Brahmins. Pinakatuktok sila ng, kumbaga sa pyramid, nasa taas sila. Then we have the Kshatriyas. Okay, are the warrior and ruler class. They are tasked with protecting society, governing the kingdoms, and leading military expeditions. Yun po yung sa ating mga Kshatriyas. For Vaishyas, okay, the merchant and agricultural class, they engage in commerce, trade, farming, and business activities. Mga negosyante, And we have the Shudras, are the laborer and service class. They traditionally perform tasks considered menial or physically demanding, such as farming, manual labor, and service-oriented occupations. Ito naman yung mga laborer, mga manggagawa under Shudras. But, may mas mababa pa po sa Shudras. Okay. Below these four, primarily Varnas are groups of, known as Dalits or untouchables. Okay. Who historically faced severe social discrimination and were considered outside the Varna system. Okay. So, dito sa ating mga Dalits, yan yung mga street sweeper o talagang nasa mga hihirap talaga yan. Okay, talagang kahit yung mga walang-wala talaga nandun sa Dalits. Mga tagalinis ng kung papangit na or ganyan. Kaya nagkaroon ng discrimination sa kanila. Kasi nga 'di ba reincarnation. If you are reincarnated as a human like that, street sweeper, taga ng mga kubeta, ganyan, ikaw ay untouchables. Ibig sabihin, masama ka nung past life mo. Which is napaka-unreasonable pag ganun Kaya nga sa India, meron na tayong mga nagpo-protekta sa human rights. Okay? Pero minsan napapractice pa din, kasi nga dala na din ng traditions. Ang tradition kasi mahirap burahin eh. But syempre, through time, magagamot yun at magkakaroon lahat ng kalinawagan na lahat ng tao ay pantay-pantay. But of course, it's their tradition, their belief, and we have to respect that. Clear? Okay, no judgment. Ayan. So, i-discuss naman natin yung Trimurti. Meron silang three major god na tinatawag nilang Trimurti. In general na to sa Hinduism. Para siyang sa Holy Trinity. But the concept of Holy Trinity, isa lang talaga, Pero dito, literal na tatlo. The three major god, okay, yung word na god is, ang tawag nila is Brahman. Okay, Brahman. Count or equivalent ng word na god. Ang first Trimurti god is si Brahma. Brahma is the creator god in Hindu mythology. He is often depicted with four heads. Ayan. Each representing one of the four Vedas, the ancient Hindu scriptures. Brahma is credited with creating the universe and all living beings. However, he is not as widely worshipped as Vishnu or Shiva. Okay, hindi siya widely, hindi siya sikat. But Brahma is the creator. Next, second po sa Trimurti is si Vishnu, the preserver and protector of the universe. He is revered for maintaining cosmic order, dharma, and intervening whenever the balance of the universe is threatened. Vishnu is often depicted with a blue skin and four arms, holding various symbols and weapons. He is believed to have incarnated on earth in different forms, known as avatars. Yun yung mga incarnation niya, to restore righteousness and defeat evil forces. Some of his most famous avatars include Rama and Krishna. Yan yung kanyang mga famous avatars. The last in Trimurti, we have Shiva. Okay, Shiva is the destroyer and the transformer within the Hindu pantheon. He is associated with asceticism, meditation, and the cycle of creation and destruction. Shiva is often depicted in a meditative posture, with a third eye on his forehead, representing wisdom and insight. Okay, si Shiva, Ayan. Next, hindi na to kasama sa Trimurti ha. Ito na yung mga sub-god and goddesses. We have Ganesha, the elephant-headed god, who is worshipped as the god of wisdom, prosperity, and good fortune. Ayan. Si Krishna, okay, incarnation of Vishnu, nabanggit naman, is one of the most beloved and popular god in Hinduism. Rama, okay, another incarnation or avatar of Vishnu, was revered for his virtuous qualities and heroic deeds. Hanuman, the monkey king, who is worshipped for his strength, bravery, and devotion to Rama. Okay, next, Durga, the goddess of power and strength, who is worshipped as the divine mother. Tingnan nyo na lang yung mga picture. Kali, a fierce and powerful goddess who is worshipped for her ability to destroy evil and protect her devotees. We have Sarawasti, the goddess of knowledge, music, and arts who is worshipped by students and scholars. Lakshmi, the goddess of wealth and prosperity who is worshipped by those seeking material abundance. Surya, the god of the sun who is worshipped for his life-giving energy. Indra, the king of the gods who is worshipped for his power and strength. Agni, the god of fire who is worshipped for his purifying and transformative qualities. Varuna, the god of water and oceans, who is worshipped for his ability to provide life-giving rain. Okay, and that's all for today. And I hope that you learned something. You learned some information or insights about Hinduism. Okay, I hope that you will watch this video. Thank you so much.